Gentech is helping shape Arizona's workforce with its award-winning Kids Tech program. In more than 350 classrooms, Kids Tech provides STEM education to students, and students who went through the program have gone to work for impressive companies. Joining us in Arizona Horizon is Gentech COO Michael Wilson and Gentech Training Director Mike Simonet. Guys, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Michael, for those who don't know, what is Gentech? How long has it been around?
Yeah, so we've been around for going on 8 years now, and Gentech, we are a tech hub that provides cutting-edge technology, so teaching kids things like robotics, coding, cybersecurity, 3D modeling and CAD, really preparing them for the future jobs, and really getting that technology in the hands of kids so they can start to learn it.
So it seems like this is pretty pioneering. I'm sure you guys have competitors, but this seems like it's really something that needs to take hold.
Oh, absolutely. I remember when I was still in high school and in middle school, I would have loved to have this stuff in our classrooms. You know, it wasn't until I was a bit older in college where I actually wanted to start learning about this stuff. Who knows where I'd be now if I started learning that when I was a lot younger.
Well, you're doing well. You're working for Gentech, so we're not going to put that down at this point.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, let's talk specifically about Kids Tech, because that seems to be really impactful. I know there are a lot of different aspects to it, but give us the overall view, and then we're getting to some more details.
Yeah, so the overall view behind our Kids Tech program is we provide a turnkey solution for schools. So the program includes an instructor, the curriculum, and all the equipment to provide a STEM program in the classroom. So we're really focusing on targeting kids in schools for during the day programs. So being as like an elective. So in many schools across the valley, just like kids rotate into music and art, they come to Gentech and learn STEM. And we have currently 6 different strands and developing 2 others, strands of technology for K through 12. So building a scaffolding model so that way kids are, when you come to like in math, for example, you start with like learning your numbers, addition and subtraction, multiplication, and then you move into like eventually geometry, algebra, calculus. Same thing, we've developed a scaffolding curriculum with our STEM program as well.
Okay, so Mike, when it comes to training, are you working with the different schools to let them understand what's going on, or are you working specifically with the folks that you guys send to the schools?
So we work specifically with our instructors. We like to hire techs and turn them into teachers instead of taking teachers, turning them into techs. So we give them a lot of classroom management and behavior management training. We give them technical training on the curriculums they are teaching. We also support them inside the classroom, so we always go in there with them, make sure everything's going good, and anything they ever need, my cell phone's on 24/7, they can reach out.
Yeah. So, Michael, I'm wondering about how the relationships with the schools starts. I think that would be fairly important to figure out. So we know that there have been budget cuts in schools and whatnot. Is Gentech offering schools something they wouldn't necessarily be able to do themselves, and is that part of the appeal for them? And third part of that question, is Gentech reaching out to schools? Are they reaching out to you? How does that relationship work?
Yeah, so it kind of goes both ways where a big part is, we are reaching out to them and vice versa, going to a lot of events and things like that. And yes, the budget cuts that we've seen have taken a big hit on schools and to be able to provide some of these extracurricular activities. So we actually started a foundation to raise money to give scholarships for the school so they can bring this in. And on top of that, the program now the school doesn't have to train a teacher, hire a teacher, train them on the technology, and buy all the equipment. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment that we rotate into classrooms. So now a school, if they want to start a STEM program, they can bring us in a sustainable solution to indefinitely have STEM at their classroom without the massive investment. And technology is going to break. Robots break, 3D printers clog and jam, and their IT department's probably not going to fix it. And if they don't have the expertise, then things just sit in a closet. And another thing that I've seen millions. I've been to a lot of schools. I've seen millions of dollars of waste in schools when it comes to they get a grant to buy like some robots or like to get a 3D printer. That teacher teaches the program for a few years, and then the teacher gets a promotion, they become the principal, or they move, or many things happen and teachers leave the classroom. So then what about that next generation of kids that are coming up through that school? Versus with our program, when our college students, or our college instructors, when they say they finish their degree and they decide, hey, I want to go work for one of these big companies, I want to use my degree, we always have a pipeline of instructors to keep the program going without skipping a beat. So very turnkey solution for them, yeah.
That sounds great to actually be able to keep it rolling.
Oh, absolutely. It's wonderful. Personally, I've taught at many schools where they've lost a PE teacher or even a STEM teacher, and we come in and we subsidize that. We help alleviate that teacher shortage that's going on not only in Arizona, but all around America. We will always put an instructor inside a classroom.
I want to have you both comment on this, but Mike, let me start with you. So parents' reaction has to be very important in this. I mean, parents have to buy into this as well. What kind of reaction are you getting from parents who are saying, wow, this is really a bonus. I didn't necessarily expect this to be at my student's school, and now he or she is on a good career track?
Oh, the parents' reaction has been astounding. You know, they love us. They love how we connect with their kids. They love how we are teaching them something that is going to help them, because we all know that tech is going to be one of those things where if you want to make a lot of money, you want to get into tech. And parents, once they hear that, they think, wow, I wish I would have had this in my school. They're really elevating my kid. A lot of self-confidence things too. You know, children, when they see that they can do something, it really just alleviates them, brings them up, and, you know, they just seeing that smile on their face.
Yeah, Michael, I want to talk more about not necessarily parents or children endorsing it, but the reaction to once they've achieved these things. We mentioned in the intro that they've gone on to work for some pretty heavy-duty companies too. That's got to be the proof that you need.
Yeah, no, it's really rewarding being. I've also been in the classroom. I actually started as an instructor in the classroom before developing into my role. So I spent a lot of time. I have my CT teaching certification, and going in there and seeing the kids, like when they press go on their robot. You know, they wrote all of this code and it does what they wanted to do, and they're like, you know, so excited that they got it to work. Very rewarding, but also they're seeing that these are career paths that they may not have known existed before too. And that really opens them up to a world of wonder that they may not have known that was out there, especially with our focus being on Title I schools where they may not have the resources to have, if we're not there for them to have this kind of program. It's really giving them the ability to open up the world to them and say like, hey, you guys can, you know, these are career paths, you continue on with this stuff, you know, we're gonna help you get there, and, you know, the world's your oyster in a way, so.
Boy, that's very exciting. Really, congratulations to both of you guys. Michael and Mike, thanks for joining us in Arizona Horizon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, great.